back to Between Us Girlies. I'm Bailey.
I'm Casey.
I'm Bran.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're back again for another week. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Let's start off with what we just did this past weekend, because today's Monday while we're filming. So we had a busy week last week, so maybe we can start on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Thursday we went to Eli Rallo's not book signing, like a live book
live
tour.
show, yeah.
Yeah, live book tour show. And it was great. It made me upset though, because I need to stop damaging my brain cells, because the way she can articulate words and speak a full sentence without stuttering, liking, or anything, and it's her own words. I could do this right now, but my brain is working overtime. But like just seeing someone so smart and like who wrote their own book and just doing it live. I'm also just bad at like public speaking, so maybe that's just like I'm just so jealous that people can do it. But
she's like what I think I sound like in my head. Like I think I like can speak really well, but then I'll listen to either this podcast or just like I'll hear myself talking and I'm like, that's not what I just said in my brain. Like I don't ever say it the way I want. And I feel like she is just like who I think I am. When I was like watching her walk out, I was like, well, that's literally me. Right. And it's not. So.
Even just, she can walk in heels.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little
She
thing.
crushed it. Like she's one of those people who I think is genuinely so smart and just like so poised, and I respect her, but I also relate to her. And she's kind of crude, but also so mature. Like she is a mix of everything you want to hear and be and look up to. And I like damn near shed tears at her live show. Like at one point she said something where she was like, "You're not a maybe." And I like, you guys didn't see me, but I was internally like, it was hard. Like because you feel like a maybe so much. And she was just like, "You're the head and not the tail." And I was like, "Oh, Eli, kiss me."
Yeah. Brandy, you did a very good job too for the
Yes,
listeners.
you.
Brandon was one of her guests, and I thought the way that she like brought you on was so smart.
Yeah. She's so creative. Like that was just such a genius segment. She didn't ask me for any input. She was like, "This is what we're doing." And I was like, "Great." Like I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. And it was a really full circle moment for me, because she was like my first really close creator friends that like didn't live in Philly and did this full time. And like, she was one of my first inspirations, and like the fact that we're like still friends, and I'm just so proud of her. It was like such a cool moment from start to finish, between like getting to participate with her, like seeing my friend write a book and do this full circle moment, and then getting to meet everybody after. Like she had such a kind fan base, who was just so sweet, like the cutest girls who all said like such nice things. A lot of them listened to this podcast. So it was a really like magical night that like filled me up with like so much love.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk to all the people who listen to the podcast. Just like coming up to us after, like being able to realize it's like real people and they're all like the same age as us and we all live in Philly. Like it was just a really cool moment, and it made me excited for like the future of this podcast and doing things, because it's like, oh, these are real people who live right in our neighborhood that like the same things that we do.
Yeah, very
I
inspirational.
had like imposter syndrome though. I was like,
Really?
"Oh, me? Like, you guys listen to this podcast?" Like, I mean, like I know that, but it's also like weird. Like we do sit here every week.
Yeah.
And I forget we're
I
recording
feel
right
that.
now, but it's like, oh, like people actually tune in. I don't know. It's just so.
It's like a humbling experience.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, for real?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think our like stories are only funny to us because it's our friend group,
Right.
and then I'll like see people like laughing at it. And I'm like, oh, y'all thought that was funny too? Like I don't know, it's just us.
That is really cool. But yeah, and then
So what did you do?
That was our wholesome night.
yeah, that was wholesome.
Well, was your night wholesome?
So yes, the one error I made in judgment is that Eli's fan base is not my fan base. So I went in thinking, oh my gosh, all of these people who come to the show, let's all go out after. Not really critically thinking that like Eli's brand is very different from the Brand Flakes brand. So I'm like going up to all these girls. I'm like, we're going to the Ritz-Carlton after this. Like we're going to do shots and drink. And they're all like, we're going to go home and read. And I was like, right, because you guys are here for Eli, not for me. So me and Carly Weinstein, who was the other guest, and she was staying with us this weekend, she ended up coming with me to the Ritz. We got one drink with a few of the other girls that came. It was like 7 of us total, which was really nice. It was just intimate. And Carly was so tired from traveling to Philly from New York that she was like, Bran, like my feet hurt. I gotta sleep. And it was just time to call it a night. And we knew that Friday we wanted to go like extra crazy. So we called it a night after one drink.
Good. That's responsible.
Yeah.
Mature.
Me too.
So that was Thursday. Friday comes around. Friday comes around, and we had you just know when you have something in your bones, like you know you're going out. Like I was actually happy at work on Friday. Good morning, everyone. Like all that.
I don't believe that.
I wasn't actually. I was lying. I just lied, y'all. But so we went to dinner with Carly, the four of us and Carly. We went to Elmira in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The best Mediterranean Greek food so far I've ever like had in the city. It's been so good. But yeah, dinner was good.
We need to talk about the vibes of that place
Yeah.
because that is to me like they could serve cardboard and I'd be like, I'm gonna go again because the vibes in that place are a 12 out of 10.
Our
And the drinks.
server was like, he knew the menu up, back, front, down. And I love someone who's well versed in the menu who can help me choose my food. The drinks were actually so stupendous. Like each one was crafted with love. It was like my mother was behind that bar. Like Elmira truly has my heart.
Yeah, the best dirty martinis. And it's just become such a scene. Like
Yeah.
it opened November, and Bailey and I went in December and we had a great night that time too. But this night, like you could tell people had like heard about it. Like I was like antsy to finish dinner because I wanted to get to their bar, which is beautiful. And there was older people, some sexy people. The guys at Elmira, like Carly Weinstein was like, oh my gosh, these guys are hotter than they are in New York. Like every time someone walked by, our heads were like, like I was having like neck pain. Like it was insane. And we went to the bar. A bunch of people we knew were there. We did tequila shots, which were pretty foul.
It was a poor choice.
They were like leaders.
Yeah, they were giant.
Yeah, they
very
were
generous.
really big.
Mm-hmm.
And we had one of those dinners where we were like, we're gonna like everyone chug your last drink because we want to feel fucked up. So we stood up and then immediately took a shot. And I was like, oh, I'm very drunk right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was seeing things, but did they give us an orange to chase with? Am I tripping?
They
It was
gave us a
good.
lemon, I thought.
Oh, I had an orange. And I bit
orange.
into it.
Okay, yeah.
But we
Whatever.
also asked for a Diet Coke, which
Oh,
was smart
yes.
because we were all like
Yes.
slurping
Yes.
that with
The
it.
DC.
That was actually a really good idea. It helped.
So we like didn't like have a full game plan, but we knew we wanted to check out Vinyl before anything else. And I went in thinking we'll stop at Vinyl and then probably end up somewhere else. That was not the case. We go to Vinyl. And my first like full circle moment happens with like this podcast because the girl recognizes us at the door and she was like, I'm bringing you guys a bottle and I'm putting you at a table. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? The manager comes over to me and he is joking around with me. He's like, I'm so mad at you, dude. And I was like, what's wrong? He was like, look how packed it is in here because of what you four talked about on your podcast. Because we had talked about how fun Vinyl was, how Vinyl was like our special shout out for our favorite bar, which was just like so cool to hear that like people like really resonate. Like we love supporting businesses in Philly, especially ones that have been so gracious to us. So that was really fun to hear. So they bring us over a bottle of champagne and a bottle of Espolòn. We've already had all of our drinks from dinner and those tequila shots. So our doom was impending. Like there was no way around it. Like we were all just set up for failure in that regard. But whew, did we have a time? Lindsay, what happened to you, girl?
First off, mind your business.
Oh yeah.
I had a little episode where I've been going through some things at home. And I tend to project that when I go out, but if I'm drinking too much, I don't realize. And I'd like to give a shout out to my friend Casey, because I learned in the morning that she was actually an incredible friend to me. Apparently, little Lindsay had a little too much to drink. And although I was having an excellent...
remember this.
Of course you don't. But... little Lindsay had a little too much to drink. And I got in one of those rare moods when I get really quiet. And I'm assuming because of what I have going on at home that everyone thought I was sad. But in my brain, I wasn't sad. I was like that SpongeBob gif where I'm like, duh. Like, I was buffering. There was nothing going on upstairs. So Casey's coming over to me. She's like, Lindsay, are you okay? I had someone texting me that was just out of control. Casey was like, Lindsay, you need to ignore that, blah, blah, blah. So I'm texting back, I have a boyfriend. Leave me alone. Like, I'm full. Casey is taking care of me. It got to a point where I looked around and I said, well, if I stay here any longer, an ambulance is going to be OTW. So I took my ass home and I left. And then in the morning, I projectile vomited.
Yeah.
Good morning.
The
You
lux-
I was gonna say you were literally a sponge because like I saw you sitting on the side of the couch and I was like, oh, she needs a friend right now. Like I'm gonna go over. So I like plopped down on the side of the couch. I'm like, what's going on? And you were like showing me your phone, like trying to talk to me. And anything I said, you were like, okay. Like I could have been like, Venmo me $4,000, and you've been like, okay, that's a good idea. Like you were just, you went with anything I said, and then. We like had this whole conversation. I get up, I go to the bathroom, I come back. You were in the middle of the party. You were like dancing. I was like, oh, I guess she's fine now.
I have no recollection.
She got her life back.
Damn, I was gonna say the last memory I have of you is you were throwing ass, and I had the shaker with tequila. I was shaking up shots.
You were you know what? You were a creature this weekend, Bailey.
I told you bottle service makes me creepy.
And Casey's boyfriend was creepy,
Yeah.
honestly, and your boyfriend Brandon was creepy.
Oh, he sure was.
No, Brandon was
creepy.
literally my boyfriend and Brandon's boyfriend were dancing together, and Brandon was like, wow. He was like, are you jealous? He was like, look at that. Also, the bottle server at Vinyl, I don't know like if she is like Spider-Man or something, but it seemed like every time I needed a drink, she was right there getting ready to make it. Like there would be no one at the table. I'd look at Bailey and be like, oh, I'm going to make another drink. And by the time I go to turn around to look at the table, she was like, what do you need? I was like, where do you keep coming from?
Queen behavior.
No, it was amazing.
No,
There was some bumps in the road. That man that you absolutely screamed at. Do we want to talk about that?
What?
So I just... Maybe it's because I have a boyfriend that I don't really get to like, well, that's not true. I yell at Jake. But I was going to say I don't really get to scream at like random guys too often anymore because like I'm never really in that position. But we were in line for the bathroom and it is quite a line. Like you have
Bailey
to
and I
stand
remember.
down the whole hallway. So we're waiting in line and this fucking guy is standing next to us and he will not leave me the fuck alone. Like talking to me and Carly,
I had another man talking.
yeah,
to
you
me.
were in another conversation and me and Carly are just getting like, this guy would not shut up and he was asking me so many questions and I kept like bringing up Jake. He's like, where do you live? I'm like, in Philly with my boyfriend. He's like, oh, what do you do? I was like, and I just kept saying like boyfriend, hoping this man would get the hint. And at halfway through the conversation, I was literally completely facing the other way and he was talking to the back of me, still fucking going. So I keep ignoring him and then Bailey comes over and he's like, can I say one more thing? Or he's like, yeah, he's like, can I say one more thing? And I'm just like, let this be the last thing you say to me.
And then so it was like, you're like, it's gonna be the last thing you say to me. And then, or it's like, it's gonna be the last question you ask. And then like he said, you're like, all right, that's enough. You were kind of like, all right, you're done for the night. And like you guys turned around, he's like, oh, I don't know what that was about. Why are they so mean?
And then he kept going because this was like halfway to the bar or to the bathroom. We finally get to the bathroom and I didn't actually have to pee. I just like went because I wanted to see what I looked like. So I like checked myself out in the mirror, whatever. Bailey's in one stall, Carly's in the other. He comes up to me again and hands me his card. And I literally turned him. I was like, I don't fucking want your card.
Yep.
And the bouncer goes, oof. And Bailey opens up the stall. She goes, was that you screaming? This man just was on my list.
He first came to me when we first got to Vinyl. We had literally, I hadn't even put my coat down. And this man runs up to me and he says he's in the marketing business. Like I could tell he was trying to network, but what a horrible read of the room. Sir, we are seeing Ben Arsenal perform, who only plays jungle house music at volume 300. I can't hear anything. On top of that, I just ripped a double tequila shot after housing 2 dirty martinis and an espresso martini. In what capacity do you think I am to have a logical conversation with you about business? I kindly said to him, sir, this is not the time or the place. I would love to connect with you. Here's my Instagram, send me a DM, which I found out today he did. But I was just so annoyed. I was like, also, his friend was standing by him, and this is where I became a bitch because his friend just puts his glass down right on our table, and I literally grabbed the waitress. I go, no, he is not with us because I thought I was like, oh, they're gonna try to mooch off of this. Hell fucking no. This free bottle of Espolón, this is for the 4 of us. Hell no, get your ass away from me. So yeah, I'm glad you cussed him out. He deserved it.
Yeah.
He just could not pick up a vibe. Like if you're talking to someone, sometimes getting into a drunk conversation is fun, but if somebody is giving you every hint that they want to get out of that conversation, let them get out.
And Vinyl isn't a place to talk like
Right.
that. Like it's a place to dance and have fun and talk with your friends who you can hear that are standing next to you. You're not our friend, dude. Go away. That was terrible.
Yeah.
While you guys were waiting in line for the bathroom, I went to the bathroom in the kitchen, which was an interesting experience because the performer had very interesting people. A juggalo was there, and that was really frightening.
No, it was I saw him walking through the crowd, and I
know.
grabbed Lindsay, and I was like, it just was not what I was expecting. It's nothing wrong with like him going like that, but just when I'm out and I just see a man with a face painted like a clown, I was like, oh my gosh.
I think I said that.
I was like, a juggalo? Like, in this day and age? I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That
I
was
think I
wild.
said, I was like, Casey, is that a clown?
There was some clown shit going on. So when Casey was getting harassed by that man that Brandon cussed out too, before that, you know when someone's saying something to you, you can't hear them, so you're saying, what? Like, so many times. So, because Ben Arsenal, is that his name, was playing max volume 400, some guy who had a really thick accent, he was saying something to me and I couldn't really understand. It was like a 4 or 5 timer. What? And, but for the 5th time, I turned around and put my head down and Casey saw me. I was like, all he said was, you were very beautiful. And my dumbass couldn't hear. So we're in the bathroom lying. He said, oh, you were a very beautiful girl. I said, yes, that's me. He typed something into his phone on Google Translate. He shows me his phone and it says, I would be your girlfriend. You were very beautiful. And I said, oh, thank you. Like, thank you. Oh, no, I think I typed back in his phone, thank you very much, but I am married, because I had my fake little ring on.
I am married.
What am I supposed to say? Like, get married to the guy right then and there?
There's about 10 other outcomes that could have happened before getting married.
You never know, but he was he's Georgian, not like from Georgia, the state, but whatever. I didn't know that was a country till like that day. Sorry, I've been in school in a while. But,
You really are funny.
no, that was just what it was the cutest thing. But I had a little boyfriend that night. So
Love that.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that covers most of vinyl. And then we went to a post party, which boy, oh boy, did that turn out to be interesting.
Wait, did we close out vinyl? Like
they
the
turned
lights came on. Okay,
Every
that's what
single
I thought.
and that is my issue. That place does something to me. I've been there 3 times in my life, and every single time I stay until the lights come on. And the lights were on. Like those workers were like begging for us to leave. They were like, please leave. So someone tells us that they're going to an after party, and I checked the location. I said, oh, that's in our neighborhood. Great. Let's get into their vehicle. We go over there. I walk up to this house. I do not know a single soul. And that is an important detail. We'll put a pushpin in that because it comes back later. But we walk in. We have a jolly old time socializing. It felt like college. We were having like deep talks in the kitchen. I was having a blast. But I'm asking everybody, whose house is this? I'm like, who lives here? Like, I just want to know, like, thank you for having me. Like, who lives here? I don't live here. No, I don't live here. No, this isn't my house. Whose house are we in? So I wake up in the morning and I'm just cracking up about this. I'm like, I like really wonder whose house that was. And I get a DM from someone I actually know who I see out all the time. And it's the Ring camera footage of me entering their house at 2:30 in the morning, drunk off my ass, screaming, I don't know these people. Oh my God, what's going on? Like just being so annoying. And he was like, wow, you came to my house when I'm away. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You weren't actually at your house. And that's why no one there said that they lived there, because they didn't. Why people were hosting a party there, I'm not sure. But yeah, that was a very, very crazy Friday night.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It was so much fun. A really good night out can really just like reinvigorate your spirit. Like I was smiling the next day, despite the fact that I was morbidly hungover. Yeah. But I had no regrets. It was worth it. I would have done it 10 times over. It was so much fun.
I feel like after Friday, like Stella got her groove back. Like I got that party girl bug again. Like, oh, I missed it. Like that was so fun.
It
Just
really
going
was.
out, staying up
It
late.
really was
We
fun.
didn't get home till like 4 a.m. Like,
And that was like by our choice. We had to
Yeah.
like pry our boyfriends out of there and be like, it's time to go.
I asked Jake 12 times. I'm like, do you want to call the Uber soon? He's like, yeah, in a second. He was talking to every single person at that party. I walk over, he's getting this guy's number. I was like, who? And I asked him the next day, I'm like, who's that number you got? He's like, I don't know. I didn't even know I got someone's number, but he would not leave. I finally get him to call the Uber and we get outside and he was like, oh, like, are you sure you don't want to stay a little
Damn.
longer? I was like, no, it is 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I want to go home. And he's never like that.
Yeah.
So there was something in that house
How
because
did you guys feel on Saturday? Were you guys hungover?
Oh, I felt like hell. I didn't.
Your Finsta.
Because I didn't end up going to bed until like 6:50 in the morning. So I stayed up watching Lil Yachty music videos like I usually do. But then at 7, like right when I was about to go to bed, because I was pissed off because I knew I was going to waste my whole day sleeping. I have to get 7 hours of sleep, and that's the whole day. And so, but I remembered at 9 o'clock, I have to move my car. So I went to bed from 7 to 9, woke up. I don't know how I got in that car and physically drove it and found a spot and parallel parked it. And it was one of those tight, I don't know how the fuck I did it, but it was there today. So I was just mad I wasted my whole day. So I got up probably around like 2 o'clock on Saturday, got McDonald's because I saw you order McDonald's in the morning. I was at the lunchtime. So yeah, I just wasted my day Saturday, but I felt good Sunday.
Yeah. No, I was pretty banged up.
Yeah, I was very hungover, and me and Jake had to go run errands in Jersey. Like we had like set plans. We had to go pick up stuff from his parents' house, so we like couldn't bail on them. And I was just so horrifically sick that we ended up like canceling the rest of our plans and just going to like a random Chinese place because the only thing that makes me feel better when I'm hungover is miso soup. And I was like, if I don't get that in my body, like I'm actually gonna pass out. So we went to this random spot to get Chinese food. And I felt way better after that, but I was struggling.
Well, I was supposed to go roller skating the next day for my father's birthday. Lucky for me, he didn't want to go.
Oh, wow. I thought you were there the whole time.
I went to a beautiful dinner at the Bluebell Inn in Montgomery County. Wow. It was delightful.
Oh, thank God.
And I drank at dinner.
Did you go like straight to bed when you got home, or you just like passed out on your like bed kind of sleep?
The crazy thing is, I came home and forced Brandon to watch multiple episodes of Desperate Housewives.
Really?
Until like 1 a.m.
Wait, on Saturday you're talking
On
about,
Saturday
right?
night.
Not Friday night.
No, I meant Friday night. Like when you got home Friday night, did you just like pass out?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I got home on Friday, it was a scary moment because typically I go in, I make food, and that's what makes me feel pasta. That would have been bad because my house would have been up in flames. Brandon would have had nowhere to live.
Flocka. Wait.
No, truly.
Damn.
So I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I just crawled into bed. I do remember, this is the last thing. I do remember doing an extensive oral care routine. For the listeners, I'm obsessive about my teeth, and I have like a full routine of like 30 minutes brushing them. And I remember telling Carly Weinstein in the morning, I was like, remember in The Wolf of Wall Street when he takes all those Quaaludes and he drives himself home and like completely destroys his entire yard? And he's like, it's amazing how I got home with no damage. That's how I brushed my teeth. Like that is how it's done. I woke up in the morning, I was like, ooh. Sick.
Wait, I just remembered I filmed on Get Ready With Me when I got home.
Please post
Please
it.
post it.
No, I edited it. I put captions on it Friday night.
No way.
I was up till 8 o'clock in the morning. I had every
true.
time to do everything. So like I watched it back at least 14 times. And then the next day, like when I was like sober and good thoughts, I was like, I don't know if I want to post it. It's good. It's good. It's just
I
like,
want to see it.
How do you look?
great.
Oh, I post it.
I did full skincare routine, like an outfit change. I had the tripod set up. Like,
I wish that was me. As we were walking up the steps, I told Jake I will wash the sheets tomorrow, but I am laying down with my makeup on. I am not taking that off.
All right. Well, if you were listening to that weekend debrief and you felt like you wanted to be a part of it and wanted to hang out with us, I don't know why, but you now have that opportunity because we are hosting our very first Between Us Girlies event. Woo! We will be hosting a meet and make friends in Philly at Urban Exchange, which is in Fishtown. And we're so excited. Lindsay, you want to tell us about what's going on?
Yeah, so it's going to kind of be, I guess, sponsored a little bit by some really cool Fishtown drink and food places. So obviously, Walkworks, our favorite place in the entire world. And then we have some really awesome alcohol vendors stateside, Two Robbers and Evil Genius, hooking us up with some alcohol. So you guys can come drink, hang out. We also have some really fun vendors coming. We're doing permanent jewelry, and that is, you can find on Instagram, on our Instagram, but you can also find her on Instagram. It's Makeup and Tans by Chelsea. And we'll also be having a tarot card reader, which is really cool. And her name is Carrie Hughes. So we're very excited to have some fun events coming in our event.
We're excited to meet you guys.
Yeah.
So the event is next Thursday, February 8th. It is at 7 p.m. till 9:30 p.m. We posted 75 tickets. You guys already gobbled them up. However, we will be releasing more on Wednesday, aka today, if you're listening to the episode as we release. And we'll be releasing them at 4 p.m. So if you're listening to the episode on Wednesday when this episode is released, put it in your calendar to grab your tickets at 4 p.m. The link is in our bio. We will upload more tickets then. We would love to meet you guys. And please do not have FOMO and do not get sad. This is our first event. We are testing things out. We want to see how this goes, who shows up, what you guys like, what you guys don't like, so that we can then plan an even bigger event in the future that everyone can obviously come to. But if you got your ticket, we are so excited. Thank you for your support. We can't wait to meet you. Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to be at that tarot card reader the whole time. So if you guys want to talk to me, I will be at that station.
And also shout out to Urban Exchange for doing this with us. We got to tour their new space. It's not really new. It's kind of a little bit updated, I guess, new to me. It's so freaking cool. We were just doing a tour and I saw like 50 pieces I wanted to buy. And their team's been really awesome. So we're very excited.
They've been really great to work with. We're so excited. The clothes are amazing. We hope everyone gets something cute. We're just really, really excited.
Yes.
All right, let's talk quickly about love life. Bailey, what's going on with the boys?
Well, welcome back to the segment Bailey's Boys.
We need like a theme song for it.
Like the Fisher Price music. I don't know.
Bailey's Boys.
Bow, bow, bow. We're back in the party scene. I feel like I haven't been out in Philly in I don't know how many weeks. So like seeing the men here again, I'm like, oh, I forgot there are like attractive guys in this city. But at Elmira, when we were sitting there at dinner, the whole time I kept looking back at this bar and I saw this cute man. And he was like tall, dark, and handsome. And we were at Vinyl, and he followed us there. I feel like that's like the spot, like the thing to do, Elmira then Vinyl.
Yeah, they are really close to each other.
Yeah. So that same guy walked in. I was like, oh, perfect. And it's so dark in there, though. I don't know how he saw this. I literally look at Casey while I'm looking at him, so like whispering, and I wasn't covering my mouth. Now, he saw me mouth this entire thing. Oh my God, there's that hot guy from Elmira.
And then I turn because she says that to me. So then he like not only sees you say it, he directly looks at me.
Then I say, oh my God, he's looking at me. Then I'm like, oh my God, he just saw me say that. Like it just happened so fast. But I remember like during the night, I was like just doing my dancing, looking at him like the whole time, but nothing, it kind of fell through because I have a little thing, but not a real boyfriend. But anyways, what I want to talk about is sleepovers and just like the casual hookups and all that. So Saturday, I had a male companion come over and we hung out, all of that. But what was great about it is he didn't sleep over afterwards. We hooked up and he left. And I remember
The joy on your face.
guys, like for listeners, viewers, I appreciate my sleep. I love a good man. Don't get me wrong. Like cuddling, all that, it's fine. But I love my sleep. And because I wasted my day Saturday, I didn't want to wake up Sunday and do the whole thing over again by wasting it. So when this man said, do you care if I leave? I said, no. I was like, absolutely not. I was like, oh my God, I can watch another episode of Friends. I'm going to get a snack. Like it was, it sounds so stupid, but like, because I had so many plans for Sunday. I wanted to like bake. I wanted to make like a cheesesteak. I wanted to like clean out my fridge. I had so many chores to do that like this man not staying over was just such a life in my life.
Sometimes I think I know you so well. And other times, like now, when you just told me that you wanted to bake on Sunday, if someone like gave me a quiz and was like, which one of your friends said that, you would have been at the bottom of my list.
I'm not going to lie. When you posted that story and you were like, time to bake, I was like, I don't think I've ever seen Bailey bake in the 4 years we lived together.
I literally thought when you said that, you meant like, I'm going to like bake as in like, I'm going to get high.
I did that too.
I like didn't even consider like cookies and brownies.
How'd they turn out?
Good. I made chocolate chip cookies. I was gonna make a strawberry cake, but I didn't feel like doing that because
It looked really I was looking at the box. I was like, that looked interesting.
because my mom gave me a ton of. I have like a spice cake, an orange cake, and a strawberry cake I want to make, and like bundt pans. I live a secret life sometimes.
You really do.
I'm just in shock.
Yeah. No, but I had such a like spectacular day, like laundry, but because this man didn't sleep over and like waste my morning, I got to accomplish all of those things.
You seem very refreshed.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Which
that.
is crazy, given if you guys saw us on Friday night, you wouldn't think we would look refreshed.
Oh, no. But no, that's like that Sunday was perfect. Like I got Dick, he went home, I got a good night's sleep, watched Friends.
You can sleep more comfortably.
Yes,
You can do
because that
whatever
man's
you
a big
want.
man taking up my small bed. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, so that's my little segment for this week.
Oh, well, I have a perfect segue into the next thing we wanted to talk about, actually, because I was so brutally, deathly hungover on Saturday. And for some unknown reason, I thought, what a great time to try and play Connections. As if I had any brain cells to try and play that together. So I'm literally sitting there. I'm not going to lie. It literally took me 2 hours. Genuinely, start to finish, 2 full hours. I took some breaks in between. I was just staring dead at the screen. Like couldn't process a single thing. And we want to talk about Connections because it's a new obsession we all have. And I just don't know. I don't ever want to play drunk. You convinced me that it was fun to play drunk. So I thought, oh, it'll be fun to play hungover.
When it's like an easy one, you're like, oh, I could do it. But like I think Saturdays,
it was fucking hard. And I felt really bad about myself. I was like, oh, I'm hungover and stupid.
Yeah. So for the viewers at home, if you're not familiar, you've probably heard of Wordle, which is a New York Times game. They have several games. One of them that we've been obsessed with is Connections, where they put up 16 words and they make 4 categories of 4. But it's very difficult. Mm-hmm. And Winna Lou, the woman who writes these games, the game creator, I have a personal vendetta with her because I swear this woman wakes up every day and says, how can I make everyone in the world feel stupid? Mm-hmm. She puts the most wild combinations of words in there, like upside down words on a calculator. Bro,
that one was fucked up.
There was another one the other day that I was like,
it was the bot. It made no sense. It was smart. The word was smart.
Oh yeah.
I think
when it was like a pain, it was like ache, sting, like sore and smart.
Yeah.
Apparently we're supposed to know that your leg can smart. What the fuck? I swear she's like from the 1800s or some shit and is going back to
Call her out.
This
like
so
crazy definitions.
Am I stupid or does the results go away really fast? Like
No,
you don't
they do, but you can click view results again after.
Oh, see, I've just been
When it comes up
screenshotting
with the
them.
blocks, you can press the X and it will show you.
Oh, see, I've just been screenshotting it because I'm like, oh, I didn't get to read that fast enough, so I have the screenshots. And the one from yesterday was inside a Scrabble box, and it was bag, board, racks, and tiles.
I don't think I even passed yesterday.
No, I didn't.
Sometimes it'll be like ketchup, mustard, mayo, relish. You're like, oh, things you put on a burger. No. Relish means you relish in joy.
Yeah,
ketchup is something red.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like,
they
why did you
play
do that
too
to me?
much.
The silent C.
They put two. That was
That
bullshit.
was it. It was letters
The
with a
silent
silent
W.
W.
Like, are you kidding? They play too much.
But then when it's easy, sometimes I'm like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
When it's too easy, I'm like, oh, that wasn't even
Yeah.
fun.
But I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I've been really obsessive with the New York Times games to the point where my family plays. I'm like, we have a wordsmithing group chat where it's my whole family and it's Wordle and Connections. But I had to take it up a notch. I purchased the New York Times game subscription so that I could play
I've
the
been
crossword.
thinking about it.
The New York, if y'all think Connections is going to, like, if that keeps you up at night, play the crossword, not the mini crossword, play the crossword. And from Monday to Wednesday, it's easy crosswords. And then Thursday, Friday, and on, you want to kill yourself.
I, since a wee little child, Mad Libs, crosswords, my brain can't do it. So I can only, my favorite one is Wordle because like that, I don't know what it, like I play.
It's simple enough.
Yeah, and I play Connections sometimes first so I can be in a bad mood because I know Wordle's going to like put me in a good mood. But do you guys start with, I know you start with the same word every time, right? Or do you switch it up? Do you guys start
I
with the same
always
word?
start with the word usage because it gets U, A, E, and S and G, which are like common consonants.
That's a good one.
For the listeners, I have not been in, they just recently converted me to like a Connections person. I've always heard you guys talk about it and I've seen it, but I just don't have enough brain space to like add anything new into my life. And
I get it.
unfortunately, I was bullied enough to be like, oh, let me try it. And then I became addicted. Wordle seems like too much thinking for me.
No, Wordle's a lot easier.
Yeah.
I think you'd be like, oh, this is way more digestible.
That's why like it's good to play both so you can always win Wordle. No, I failed on my birthday. I failed Wordle and Connections. So, but Wordle, I start with the word learn every single time because two common consonants L, R, and N, and the E and A. And the one time I typed it in and it was the word.
Wow.
I saw because
when
it starts going slow, you know it's gonna be the word. And I remember I gasped. I'm like what? Ah! Sorry, that just made me so happy. But I know it's never gonna work again.
I pick a different word every time. I could be like ducks, horse.
Trash and oiled are good too.
Those are good.
Yeah.
Oiled is really good.
Yeah, or oils.
Do a lot of people play this? Like, is this like a very, I mean, I know a lot of people,
Wordle
but
had
is
its
it
like moment a few years ago and then it like kind of died down, I feel like. And then I've been just playing it recently with my boyfriend. We play it every night together. If we're not together, we play on FaceTime and share our screen.
So cute.
It's
So
like something we
cute.
have to do together. Lindsay got me into Connections. And then I made a TikTok about it like 2 weeks ago and built like a whole community about it.
No, your
Because-
TikTok was great because I was trying to explain I was staring at fucking Connections for 2 hours and Jake was like, what are you trying to do? And I was like trying to explain the game to him, but I didn't have enough brain cells. And I was like, oh, thank God Brandon made a TikTok about this. And I just showed him your TikTok and he was like, oh, okay, I get it now.
What's the other one you guys do? You guys
Spelling
spelling
bee.
bee?
Spelling bee. Sometimes I play Letterbox too, but they don't really like do it for me.
Yeah, something about that. I'm telling you guys, it's $1 a week for that big ass crossword puzzle. It took me an hour and 30 minutes last night. I was balls deep in my phone. It was
Maybe I
Well,
should do
That's
this.
about
We
like
had
4
one
Friends episodes I
really-
can get through.
truly.
We had one really bad week where Lindsay and I also played Sudoku.
Oh,
No.
I
On
like
it.
Sudoku.
No.
Fuck outta here.
I'm leaving.
I
No.
do like
You
Sudoku.
bring
And
numbers
that
into it
puts
and I'm
the
done.
time up there, and it would take 2 hours to do the medium level. And for some reason, sometimes the hard one went quicker. But me and my boyfriend during like winter break, like when everyone was like not working, we would play both the medium and the hard every day. And I've never seen our relationship tested so much.
No, I'm going to tell the listeners and viewers. I have never
Has
seen
to
my
bully
friend
me.
Brandon act like such a meanie. He bullied me over a tile game with numbers. I was asking him, Lindsay, I'm playing Sudoku. Can you just like shut up? I'm playing. Okay, Lindsay, fine.
Because Sudoku, you really cannot do anything else.
No.
Like when you are trying to put numbers in your head and being like, okay, can 4 go there? Could 6 go there? Well, if 6 goes there, so then 4 goes there. And you have Lindsay, so what are you eating for dinner? I'm like, shut up! I'm trying to focus.
Because you have to look at everything
Yes,
on Sudoku.
because you have to literally be. It's process of elimination. It's like, okay, well, technically all of these numbers could go here, but that one can't go there, and this one can go there.
Right.
It's
and you have to think ahead too.
I love puzzles.
It's like you
Any
need peace and
kind.
quiet.
I like puzzles and I'd like to think that I'm intelligent, but anymore, as I get older, I think I'm just not that
Connections will
intelligent.
sometimes have me like,
What's
should
that
I go
lady
back to school?
Like literally.
Who's the lady who creates the connections?
Winaloo.
Yeah, Winna. We're just, let's change our group chat to I Hate Winna.
Yeah.
Well, Connections is not the smartest thing to do when you're hungover. And there's a lot of other things that don't really help a hangover either.
Moving your car.
That's a great one. So for this week's pyramid ranking, let's rank the best hangover remedies. And I'll kick it off with our worst. Don't tell me when I'm hungover to drink water. I know. I know. I know to drink water. You know what happens to me when I chug water that you told me to drink? I throw up. I throw it all up. Then what happens after I throw up? I dry heave. So I understand that not drinking water will make a hangover worse. But don't come at me like water. What is it, from the fountain of youth? Is it just going to cure the hours of binge drinking and stress that I put on my body? It's not. It's not. So have water in combination with other things, but just telling me to drink water when I'm hungover, it's not going to cut it for me. What about you guys? What doesn't work for you?
I'll tell you what does work. Well, let me think of what doesn't work first.
Another thing that really works to an extent, but can't really reverse the damages, is like the electrolyte packets, like the liquid IVs, the water boys. They're great, but they are way more effective if you actually drink them before you drink. And I just don't, you cannot prevent what you cannot predict. And I don't know when I should be drinking a liquid IV, because sometimes I go to Elmira and I call it a night after a martini. Sometimes I stay out till 4 a.m. You never know. Life is like a box of chocolates. You're never going to know what you're going to get.
I feel like I have a hot take. Something that never helps me is a shower. It makes me feel nauseous and weird.
No,
and
it makes me
sometimes-
feel amazing.
Really? That's what I said. It's a hot take, but I would rather sleep, and then once I feel better after I'm rested, then I'm like, all right, it's
If I
time
need
to shower.
to like get up and do something, start my day,
Yeah.
like go to work or something like that, I would like turn it on cold as soon as I'm done. To like, you just have to like shock the system a little bit.
The hangover shower, it can go one of two directions. At the very least, it could cleanse you of your night out. Like you just get that smell off of you if you haven't showered when you got home. You get all of those ickies out. But I'll be very honest. I've thrown up in the shower before while hungover.
Okay.
It doesn't, I won't say that it cures my hangover, but it gives me like 20 minutes of relief,
Yeah.
especially if, because I only wash my hair once a week. So if I am lucky enough to time it where I can wash my hair during a hangover shower,
that sounds stressful.
it is the most life-changing
I could see that.
feeling. Like my whole body gets tingly. Like it just is amazing because it's like, oh my God, it's therapeutic.
I start crying because my hair would start fucking nodding. That would be my like top reason why. Wait, I was gonna say sometimes for me, and it depends. My hangovers are just wonky. I feel like I've controlled them at this point. Food doesn't help me in the beginning. I have to wait at least like 2 to 3 hours after I'm awake and I've settled the stomach stuff to eat.
Oh,
The problem with food is when you're nauseous, you know that you need to eat it. You know that the finish line is so close, but you do not have the energy to cross it. I will snap, like I eat so quickly. I could eat a whole plate of food. You can ask Lindsay in 2 seconds. Even on Saturday, I had the tiniest little McGriddle in front of me. I was nursing that for an hour because I could do one bite at a time without overwhelmingly getting sick. And then eventually after it digested, I felt great. But food is such a battle. I like wish that people could just like put it into my body for me.
Right.
Like having to go through the chewing and everything, like it makes me ill sometimes.
I think I get nervous because I'm so nauseous. So I'm like, I know this is gonna help me so much, but the odds of me throwing it back up, I'm just so scared.
That's the thing. Like sometimes your food doesn't make it.
Yeah.
It makes it to the toilet.
Yeah, that's true. I can only eat like sushi. Like I don't know when that started. Miso soup is known to help hangovers. You can Google it.
All right, but that's
but
not raw
sushi
fish.
is right. But I don't know. I think it was just like when I had like part-time jobs in college and I would always be hungover and you like aren't smart enough to like bring food when you're in college. So like you would just order takeout and I feel like sushi was always just like the easiest thing to order. So I would always order a spicy tuna roll and miso soup. And now that is the literal only thing that will make me feel better when I'm hungover.
Oh, that's bizarre. I want a big old ghetto burger when I'm hungover.
The miso soup is a thing. The sushi is not. I'll accept the judgment because like even Jake was grossed out by me eating it.
I'm not grossed out. I'm just, it's to each their own. I'm just shocked.
I don't know. The miso soup you should try it. I don't know if it's like the sodium in it or something. It's very soothing. It goes down nice. And then the spicy tuna. But anything else, like I can't eat.
What would help me if I was able to do it would be sleeping. But does anyone else, when they drink, it's like you cannot sleep at all. I could go to bed at either midnight or 4 a.m. If there's alcohol in my system, I'm waking up at 7. It does not matter.
Without fail.
And how everybody else, I feel like that happens initially and they can just like have a little munchie and go back to bed. No, I am up for the day. And I did research that this is like a legitimate thing. It's called the rebound effect, where your body produces so much like dopamine or adrenaline. Someone with a science degree can explain that. Where when you're drinking that, it's like needs to like, it takes all of it out of you. I don't know. Some bullshit where there's some lack of chemicals in your body the next day that actually it makes sense that you can't sleep when you drink. So I can never nap. I can never sleep in. The only time I'm like able to somewhat do it is if like my circadian rhythm is tricked. So like in the barracks when there literally was no sun and there's no way of telling the time, then I can do it. But if a little inch of sunlight comes in, I'm up.
I could sleep through a tornado.
Yeah.
You really can.
If there is like, yikes, I could sleep through almost anything. And if I'm hungover, I'm going to my room. I'm putting on one of those hangover hats, the ones you can put in the freezer or the microwave, and I'm lights out. And I don't want to be disturbed until I'm ready. Period.
Sleeping helps me. But what also helps me, which you go on this pyramid as well, is marijuana. I feel like that does, for me, it just like kind of like gets all my chakras right because it doesn't make me nauseous. It makes my headache go away and it makes me go to sleep because for me, I have to sleep off the hangover. Like, and that's what happens. Like, I just don't like eat because I'm like, I want to wake up so hungry and like rejuvenated where I can get this Big Mac in.
I love that for you so much. If I smoked marijuana on a morning after drinking when I'm already having anxiety, I would need to be hospitalized. I'm already anxious enough thinking about what I may or may not have done. You add the marijuana scaries, I literally would have to be evacuated on a stretcher.
I would drive us.
Like I would literally need to go to any nearby clinic and just like be admitted. Like there's no way around it. Wish that was me, but marijuana has the exact opposite effect. Oh, you're calm? Start overthinking everything. But I love that for you. My number one hangover cure is not to drink. Honestly, when I drink, I make a deal with the devil. I literally am signing off. You are agreeing to feeling like shit tomorrow, and I've accepted that. I'm totally fine. The same way I've accepted that the people who no longer want to make that deal, they stop drinking. Great for you. I'm not ready for that mature decision yet. But for now, every time I drink, I consciously agree to knowing that I'm going to be feeling like horrific the next day. It is what it is. There's no hangover cure. I think it's all a myth. I think at the end of the day, if you drank and acted like an asshole, you're going to feel like an asshole the next day. And wear it proudly. I was proud of being an asshole this weekend. I had a blast. No regrets.
I have to agree with that. I have been.
That's great.
We've talked about on the podcast where I feel sick when I drink, and all Saturday when I felt sick, I was like, I had a great night. I earned feeling this sick, and I'm not going to feel bad about it.
But that is why I love going out on a Friday, and I will always say Friday is superior to Saturday, because if we had gone out Saturday, I would have felt like shit today.
Yeah.
Because when you're 27, 28, you've got to give yourself 2 days to make up for a drinking night. The hangovers last 2 days. So the fact that I got Saturday to feel sick, Sunday I got to like kind of recuperate and do errands, and today I felt normal. I love a good Friday night outing.
I was thinking that. I feel like I had a longer weekend.
Yes.
I was like, wow. I'm like, it's Sunday. I'm like, when's like, should I go to work? Like, I felt like going out on Friday kind of extended the weekend.
Especially
so much
because
more.
we went out Thursday too. Like, not like went out, but like, I think the best way to like get the most value out of your weekend is to put social activities on Thursday and Fridays, and put like your kind of me time on Saturday and Sunday when you truly do have the days off. And I know that's really hard because sometimes after a day of work, you don't want to do anything, which is so valid. But if you can like put yourself in a headspace where you can give yourself a little extra social battery at the end of a Thursday or a Friday, or for our superstars, both, you will like have so much more fun during the weekend. I really do believe that.
Just thinking that. Like I literally said to Brandon, we decided like we're gonna make a little shared notes app where we write down fun things we want to do that are like semi-wholesome, or like maybe a casual beverage here and there, but like just something to look forward to after like a week, because sometimes if you do start on Thursday, you just feel like a lot more relaxed and you have a lot more to look forward to. So I agree.
Yeah.
Alrighty, girls. So jumping into our FYP segment, I would like to start off by saying the only thing on my entire FYP page is Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion's Little Beefiana. And I have to say that I have never been so disgusted by Miss Nicki. I have always been a Nicki fan, and I think that she's a mixtape legend. I think that she is... I thought that rap like took a completely new turn when she was introduced. Being like a powerhouse in Young Money and being around all those guys, like she truly ate down. But this particular diss is something that I was so disgusted by. I made it my Instagram story today. Her using certain things against Megan to make a point. The point wasn't made. The diss track was corny. The lyrics were ass. The beat was trash. It was like I made it at home on GarageBand. I found the content to be it just radiated misery. I found it to be disgusting. I absolutely hated it. And for that reason, I'm out. I hated it.
Just immature. And honestly, Bigfoot.
I know, like
What?
It's
It's so juvenile.
Wait,
It
what
doesn't-
and it's
is
like,
the
what
Bigfoot
is-
thing?
Because Megan is a stallion, which is in like our world, like a tall,
Big woman.
like big woman. The issue is she's a tall woman with a fat ass, a flat stomach, a nice face,
Tiggle
crispy,
bass.
clean, creamy skin. And Nicki Minaj is literally bullying her when she had injections placed into her cheeks that look absolutely ridiculous. Like, you're really, like, it's almost like you're insulting yourself. Like, Bigfoot, and getting shot by Tory Lanez in her foot.
yeah, like
Come
what is she
on,
bullying
ho.
her for that? She didn't do that. Like that was not her doing. Something happened to her.
And this is all from not Megan's diss track. It was her new single called Hiss. And she mentioned something about Megan's Law, which was directed kind of at Nicki Minaj's husband, right? They're married because he is a child abuser?
Yeah, he's a pedophile.
Yeah, he's
allegedly.
a pedophile. So it's not like what Megan's Law. And like just from that little snippet, didn't mention any names. She just put two and two together. If it acts like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
And why are we defending I feel so passionate.
I mean,
about
like that's
this.
the thing. If it's the truth, but don't attack. I feel like it's just so much.
Can I ask the annoying question that everyone always asks? Is it any way or shape or form, is any of this for publicity or PR?
I think
I don't
Nikki
think
just
so.
starts problems. Any black woman who comes up in the game that is not, don't get me wrong, a lot of the rappers that are out right now who are like, I would say like stunt rappers. So like your Sexy Reds, your Flo Millies, your Saweeties. Like I was Sweetie for Halloween 2 years ago. Like I love that woman. But when it comes to like actual rapping, like they kind of do like character rapping almost. It's kind of like an aesthetic they put on. When someone comes into the game, your Missy Elliott's, your Remy Ma's, your Lil Kim's, your Nicki's. Megan is literally on that level of rap. And I think that Nicki Minaj literally gets scared. Like even when Cardi B stepped into the game, like she created beef with her.
Yeah.
It's like, relax, ma. Like you are already so like valued in this community. What
I
are
think
you
that's
doing?
what it is. It's almost every single time, like Lindsay said, like someone new comes in, she kind of starts that beef. I don't think Ice Spice, because they have a song together, but it's like certain people she feels maybe like intimidated by or threatened by. When in fact, I feel like that female rap community should be more uplifting and like upbringing and being more like your mentor or something like that, not just so.
Where did the beef start? Because I know they were on Hot Girl Summer like a few years ago.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
Because they were, I'm assuming at one point they were cordial because of that.
That's like what I've been trying to figure out.
Right.
And then everybody just keeps saying it's from Megan's thing, but I'm like, where did that like come from?
Because I saw her Breakfast Club interview, and that Breakfast Club interview was like
Who's Megan's?
Yeah,
Okay.
Megan's interview. And that was like the first interview she did after she dropped a single. Like that's within 4 hours. And she's pretty much just saying that single is just like everyone that's been talking about her since this accident, like having her name in her mouth, like Drake when he like said that thing. Like the baby party, her ex-boyfriend. There were so many people who just kind of like destroyed her after this whole incident and just like completely shunned her out. I think the single was about just people in general. So maybe Nicki Minaj fell under that category, like just maybe guilty by association with Drake and Young Money and all that stuff. But like
Maybe her husband had like something specific to do with
Yeah.
it. Like I don't know.
Even
But
when it comes to that though, like Nicki's song, whatever song where she lists like every rapper, I think it's Barbie Tings. I don't know. I forget what song it
know
is,
which
but
one.
she like literally makes fun of every single male rapper. And when people like questioned her about it, she's like, oh, it's just a song. Like I was just being funny. And it's like, she took one singular line in Meg's song that, like you said, it wasn't necessarily directed at her. And then she turned this whole song about her, like wrote this whole song. And I don't know, when you pick the one thing that everybody shit on Meg for, like if you make that your whole fucking song, it just, that is where it like lost me. I
not
was
to
like, this
mention
is
her
so
mother.
gross.
I think that's
crazy.
that's absolutely disgusting.
That's the only thing I'll say about this because I don't feel like educated enough on their beef. But if you are ever in an argument and you have to low blow in general, but especially low blow by bringing in someone's family or someone's even worse deceased family, you've lost. If you can't make an argument without coming for someone's personal past that really they can't control even, you've already lost. If you have a clear case, you should be able to clearly articulate your arguments and your points without ever having to even necessarily insult the person you're arguing with. If that's what you're doing, if you're going into an argument just to hurt someone and insult, then that's not an argument anymore. You're just trying to hurt somebody. And that, to me, there's not a defense for that. Like, I just don't get it. Well, that leads us to our immunity necklace. I feel like I always have one because I'm very irritable. My immunity necklace is this, and I've been seeing this in particular a lot on TikTok. Just because you have a different experience with something does not invalidate someone else's experience. My TikTok FYP has been so toxic, I feel like recently. Everything is just stitches and nasty comments. And it literally is over the dumbest shit. Someone will be like, I went to this place for dinner last night and it was amazing. Comments. That place is fucking trash. Food is trash. Service is trash. We used to be, I feel like, a society where we could share a difference of opinion, and it could be a difference of opinion, a difference of perspective, and we could be respectful, I feel like, in some ways about it and be like, I didn't feel the same way. I actually had this experience. But now on the internet, it is like people's experiences, like their own experience is the only one that matters. I'm noticing this even on our fucking podcast clips. Like we posted a podcast clip this week talking about how one of our friends worked in the restaurant industry and told us her own experience that she was told as a hostess to place people based off of their physical appearance. The comments, this isn't true. They only sit you based off your dress code. First of all, you don't know what restaurant you're talking about. You don't know what friend we're talking about because we didn't mention either of them for sake of privacy. Shut the fuck up. Your experience at the restaurant you worked at, totally valid. I'm sure at times you were told to sit people based off the dress code. That doesn't mean that another restaurant isn't fucking racist or problematic. Why are we so obsessed with like making our experiences the only ones that are valid? It makes me so angry because that is all I see on TikTok recently is people just stitching at people, and it's almost like they're more concerned about like making their experience the right one when it's just like no one listens to each other anymore. And it's been very disheartening.
Feel that. I was reading those podcast comments and it was my face that was in the clip. And this girl was like, I worked at a restaurant. Girl, same. I've been a server before multiple times. Have I ever had to do that? No. Would I do that? No. But did it happen? Yes. So it's like, people are freaks.
And I love sharing different opinions and different experiences. But when I do it, I'm always very clear with someone. I'm like, hey, this was my experience. It might not be that way for you. For good or bad. You might have a bad experience. I had a great one. You might have a great experience. I had a bad one. But like, I would never like bully someone into being like, nope, that's not true. This is how it goes. When it's like, how are you going to deny someone an experience they had? Like, how are you going to invalidate them just because it wasn't the same experience you had? Makes me so angry. There's mine.
Anyone else?
I'm good this week.
Bunch of bores.
What'd you call me?
Snooze.
Well, maybe next week the three of us will have something.
I feel like you
juicy to
shared
share.
a lot today.
No, yeah. This was a good episode.
Yeah.
We shared a lot. Anyway.
Well, girls, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Between Us Girlies. Don't forget that the tickets come on sale today at 4 o'clock for the event on February 8th.
Yes.
Yes. And remember, everything here stays between us girlies.
Bye, guys.